Hey there, welcome back to DadLabs Live. It's Thursday at 2 o'clock Central, so here we are yet again, another week here in the lovely DadLabs studio. We're here in the handsome lounge set, the bar where we sit and have beers and discuss all things fatherly. So thanks a lot for joining us this week. We do this every week for just half an hour to kind of talk about what's going on here in the lab, what's going on in the fatherhood world in general, as far as we know, anyway. Around here, Dad Labs, everybody's counting down to the big 4th of July weekend. I hope everybody's got something really fun planned with the family. Spend some time with the kids, have a ball. Careful with those fireworks now. Watch out. You know, adult supervision. Fireworks here in Texas is a big tradition. I always did it with my grandfather. I remember about killed myself, dozens of times. It's funny here in Austin, you're not allowed to buy fireworks within the city limits, but you know exactly where the city limits are, by gosh, by the number of fireworks stands. Anyway, I hope everybody's planning fun stuff with their families for the 4th of July weekend. Definitely in countdown mode here. Daddy Brad is expecting, due any day. His wife Liz is due, any minute. Daddy Brad could be adding the third to his brood of children, so we're thinking about him. And 4th of July, that would be an interesting birthday. Just saying. I'm not sure you have any control over that, but if you do, you might want to look into it. 4th of July. Big week for me because I leave tomorrow to join my family and go on my summer vacation. I'm really excited about it. One of the interesting things about this time of year for me is my wife and the kids left. They've actually been gone all this week. So this dad has been home alone in the house for a whole week. And I have to say, it cheeses me off a little bit. I'm a little bit pissy when people come to me and I say, my family, they left and I've been home alone for a whole week. And what I tend to get, the reaction that I tend to get is that people say, go to the strip club, watch a little porn. I get a lot of this sort of implication that I'm just delighted. I'm so happy that the kids and family are out of town. That, aren't you lucky? You're just going to relax. And there's a little bit of that. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a little bit of napping. There's some goodness in having control over the clicker. There's some goodness in not having to watch Noggin when you get home. There's some goodness of being able to go see an adult movie. Not an adult movie, but you know what I'm saying. Rated R movie. I went to go see Star Trek. Loved it. There is some goodness there. But every time somebody hits me with that sort of like, attitude, it bums me out. Because it basically, I don't know, it's insulting my enthusiasm for my fatherhood. That aren't you glad when you finally get away from the wife and kids? Finally, aren't you excited? No, I'm not. I'm kind of bummed. It's a little bit depressing in my house right now. So I'm not really thrilled about it. I'm not really thrilled when you imply that I'm thrilled about it, because I'm not. Sad. It's not that I've been bored, because I don't know if this happens to you. And it's very strange. I think most men are used to being away from their families. Obviously, at times we travel. That's the most frequent way. But in that circumstance, your dislocation happens at a distance. You're in a hotel. It's sort of like designed for you to be by yourself and sort of isolated, lonely. You understand it. But in your own house, it's weirder. It's more disorienting when you have your home alone time in your own house. It's bizarre. But I haven't been bored because my wife, in a very sensitive move, appreciate that, honey, in a highly sensitive move, she arranged for me to have plenty to do. Excuse me while I get my mic squared away. It's probably better. She arranged for me to have plenty to do. Lots to do. The flooring people. She scheduled the house, the people that own our house. I've never owned a house, not a home ownership guy. The people that own our house had decided to, in reparations for a plumbing disaster, which I still cannot speak of. We had an absolutely unspeakable plumbing disaster, which I just can't. I can't talk about. We had an unspeakable plumbing disaster, which led the people that own our house to put in new floors for us. I don't know if you ever had new flooring put in your house. It's only in one half of the house, and basically you move one half of everything you own into the other half of the house, rendering both halves completely unlivable. So that was my task. Move everything from one side of the house to the other. That took a couple of days. Plus, I got to get ready to leave. I got to pack up the house, which is a sizable task. And I had to get my son a desk. Well, and I'm very grateful to Baba, kid's grandma, for sponsoring the new desk. Actually, it's not a new desk. We're calling it the Academic Center. Took a little trip to the old IKEA. I don't know if you've done this in your parenting life, but going to IKEA and shopping for the kids is sort of a rite of passage. So I went to IKEA looking for a desk. They've got tons of them, and of course, the prices there are great. Design is terrific. And so, we bought the Academic Center, which is a desk, and it's a shelf, and it's a storage unit, and it's a desk chair. And it's about 5,000 turns of the Allen wrench. I watched the whole first season of Mad Men while putting together the Academic Center. It took me about, I left for IKEA at about 11. I turned the last Allen wrench at about midnight. So it was 11 in the morning to midnight to procure and assemble the Academic Center, which was it was an amazing task. So I haven't been bored. Watch Mad Men. I understand the enthusiasm for Mad Men. I get it. But as a dad, could we please find a more depressing show? Could we find a guy that's a bigger jerk as a dad? Can we just do a show about that? That whole show. And where it's, I only watched maybe 3/4 of the first season. I don't know if I'm gonna persevere. If you've watched the second or third season of Mad Men, tell me. Is this just like an exercise in sort of self-flagellation? I'm home alone, so there's been lots of self-flagellation talk, but I'm not that into it, and I'm not that into that, with my TV. So Mad Men. Do I stick with it or not? Where I'm definitely sticking with is Weeds, which is just the most amazing, hilarious, but also painful. There's some pain there. That's a beautiful thing about it. Craig Zisk, one of the executive producers there, and I played high school football together. So thank you, Craig, for producing Weeds, because there's a family show. Maybe it's because the dad's sort of dead and completely out of the way, that he can't do anything that's embarrassing, humiliating, just makes me angry. As opposed to Mad Men. But anyway, both of those are good shows. So I've been home alone for the last week. Go join the family tomorrow. And you can just keep your wiseacre remarks about what I do when I'm home alone to yourself. Because what I've been doing is getting ready for the flooring guys and, putting a desk to Academic Center together. A lot going on at DadLabs this week. We just filmed today at the downtown location of Austin's Whole Foods. Whole Foods is, of course, headquartered here in Austin, Texas, a fantastic place, and we went and shot a couple episodes there. What an amazing place to shoot. It's beautiful, and you almost every time I go there, I see a celebrity. Today, it was they shoot the television series Friday Night Lights here in Austin, Texas. I don't know if you know that. I have lots of connections there, too. Craig Zisk, I already mentioned. I'm dropping names today. Today's going to be a show all about me dropping TV names. But if you watch Friday Night Lights, Connie Britton, one of the stars there, she plays the coach's wife. She's absolutely stunning, amazing actress. And she and I acted in plays together back in college days. And she was just as talented and amazing then. Obviously, a lot more talented than me. She's gone on to make a living at it, and I'm here with you. All three of you. Anyway, great Whole Foods, a great place to shop, an amazing environment. Boy, I end up coming out of there though after talking with their nutritional expert Mary, who is amazing, so knowledgeable, and a mom, and one of those moms that really does put a ton of thought and care into the foods that she feeds her kids. Made me feel a little guilty. because I read my Michael Pollan. I mean, I've read my Omnivore's Dilemma. I bought In Defense of Food for my summer reading, but put it on my Kindle for my trip to the beach. I'm definitely going to read it. So I get it. I understand. Whole foods, good foods, sustainable farming practices. Don't give cows corn. I get the whole thing. Sometimes in practice, I'm not as vigilant as maybe I should be when it comes to feeding the kids. But Mary at Whole Foods reminded me that I should and gave me some great ideas. We were talking mostly about feeding pregnant moms, not corn. They're ruminants, so they should only get leafy vegetables, green leafy vegetables. Kale, very good for pregnant moms. So we filmed a couple of episodes there, so that was really great fun. And I've been talking a lot to smart people this week, which has been really fun. One of the great things about talking about parenting in Austin, Texas, is we have access to a lot of really smart, great people. One of the people that I mentioned last week in the live broadcast, that was in the USA Today article with us, Dr. Aaron Rochlen, Dr. Aaron Rochlen, he had to correct me on that. A little embarrassing. Dr. Aaron Rochlen is a researcher at the University of Texas. He's a psychology professor there, associate professor of psychology at the University of Texas, and he takes as his subject matter stay-at-home dads. And I had a really interesting conversation with him about stay-at-home dads and sort of the impact that the economy is having on men and the influence it's having on stay-at-home dads. Because obviously, everybody's heard that unemployment now at 9.5% in this country is falling. Unemployment is falling more heavily on the shoulders of men in the society than women. So lots of dads out there have been laid off. Maybe the mom is keeping her job. And so we're seeing sort of an influx of stay-at-home dads. And I was really curious to ask Dr. Rochlen what kind of effect he thought this would have on sort of the stay-at-home dad community. Because it's very different. So it seems to me there's been a little bit of a cycle that, when I was staying at home with my oldest, 11 years ago, stay-at-home dads were really unusual. And there was a little bit of a response to them like, lost your job. A little bit of a weenie, are you? Not very good at bringing home the bacon. It's okay. It's cute what you're doing. Cute. Sort of a very sort of condescending kind of attitude towards the stay-at-home dads 11 years ago. And I think over the last 10 years, sort of a change came that there was more and more obvious that some dads were making this as a choice, that it was really just the best way for some families, that there's sort of a balancing act going on between husbands and wives. And there was less sort of condescension towards stay-at-home dads like they'd made a mistake or that they'd failed or that somehow they were to be pitied. And I think progress is being made, and I worry that this sort of influx of stay-at-home dads, that people may again start making lots of assumptions and sort of cop an attitude like, oh, lost your job. Well, I guess at least you could just take care of the kids. Have fun with that. It's nice. There's sort of a step back in the progress in terms of stay-at-home dads with this change, in this economy. But so I asked Dr. Rochlen that. He had some very interesting perspectives on that, and of course we'll hear from him about that on that subject in just a couple of weeks. We'll post that video up on DadLabs.com. Also had a good conversation with Carrie Conte, PhD in sort of childhood development. She is an early parenting coach. It's an option. Go find yourself an early parenting coach, especially if it's Carrie Conte, because this one really understands how families work and understands how kids respond to parents. Very good at taking sort of the kid's point of view, advocating sort of for the kid in terms of how things are working. We were talking to her about co-sleeping. It's disappointing that you would have that thought. We were talking to her about co-sleeping, family bed issues, and how some parents are making those decisions around that subject matter. Very interesting conversation there. Again, a couple of weeks, you'll see that up on DadLabs.com. I think she's part of what people are sort of referring to as a slow parenting movement. which is just taking more time, slowing down, less media, more FaceTime. It's interesting. So you got to look up, do a little Google on Carrie Conte. So moving on to the news. So it's been a big dad news week, and are we going to talk about Michael Jackson? I mean, maybe not. Maybe not. He's a dad. I kind of don't even. This guy. He's passed away. Those kids are in for it. They've got legal battles looming. You think they're set for life, but maybe not. This guy Michael Jackson got a little weird, and his parents have got to have something to do with it, and that's whose home these kids are in. But it's okay because the next custodial parent is Diana Ross. So anyway, there's been enough said about that. There's a blog over at DadLabs.com. If you really want my thoughts on Michael Jackson as a dad, go to DadLabs.com. See that blog post. I believe it's titled "Should Dads Mourn Michael Jackson?" Check that out if you're interested. In other wingnut dad news, we've got Daddy Brad's governor. Daddy Brad's governor, Sanford, this wingnut out of South Carolina, who said he was hiking in the Appalachian Trail, and actually he was chasing Argentinian tail. And I saw in the news that he did another press conference in which he acknowledged that his Argentinian mistress was not indeed the first or only, but that he'd crossed the line numerous times. Now that's all for today, because I'm headed to Florida to spend the 4th of July weekend with my family. So, I don't know, they didn't have enough to talk about around the dinner table in Florida. So he decides to confess to more affairs. Do you think there's some tension there? I don't know. I mean, I know Daddy Brad, so I've come to expect that South Carolina is the craziest state in the union. I don't know. Maybe it's not. You guys, if you're from South Carolina, tell me different, please. Is Michael Jackson from there? But this guy, the governor, he's just a royal wingnut. And I can't imagine how. And his wife is a Wall Streeter. I mean, this is a successful professional woman. What is she saying? I guess maybe she knew all along. I don't know. Troubling. Also in the news, there's a study out, and I'm not sure if you saw this, but it's study linking colicky babies to depressed dads. As if everything is not already your fault. But anyway, the studies studied colicky babies, and colicky, I hope that none of you have had the experience of knowing what a colicky baby is. Mine were all colicky. So does that mean I'm depressed? Wow, maybe I need to. So all three of my kids were screamers. Total screamers. And colic is defined. There's actually a clinical definition for colic. Crying for 3 hours a day, 3 days a week or more. Okay? Live with that. And talk about being depressed. But what they're saying is that they're observing a link, and they'd already established a link between depressed moms and colicky babies. And now they have discovered a link, or they're not saying causality. They're not saying because dad is sad, the baby is crying. But they have established this research, which has got some holes in it, has established a link between colicky babies and depressed dads. And I guess, what are we to make of that? It's certainly not going to cheer up a depressed dad like you can cheer up somebody who has depression. But Another thing that you're responsible for, and is this just like, is colic? So are they going to say that colic is like newborn depression? It's like the kid's depressed, so he's going to scream his head off for 3 hours. Man. So maybe it's genetic link. Maybe it's just that colic is babies being depressed. I don't know. But for us, colic was probably the biggest test of parenting and our marriage. Second, maybe to our oldest being born premature. Our oldest was born at 31 weeks and spent 3 weeks in the NICU. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was tough. It was our first. After that, our next two babies, very colicky. Fourth trimester, extremely, extremely colicky. And that is a tester. That crying, that screaming, that you can do nothing about. They're fed, they're clothed, they're safe, they're comfortable, they have everything they could possibly need, and they scream. And they scream some more. Oh, hey.
Hey.
It's Daddy Brad. Come on in, Daddy Brad. How are you?
I'm good. I brought you something.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Some sunscreen.
Oh, yeah, because I'm headed off on vacation.
Sunglasses.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Baby bands. These are awesome baby sunglasses. Well, thanks a lot.
Yeah, these aren't going to fit on your big dome.
No.
No, but maybe Coop's.
Yeah. The Coop. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he'd go for the baby bands.
Yeah. But I heard it's like 70 degrees and raining.
Oh, it's colder than that.
Really?
It was 61 and raining. They haven't had a day. The kids have been up there for a week already. They haven't been to the beach yet.
You're kidding me.
They're climbing the walls. My wife is calling me. She's screaming and yelling. I got the news today. It's kind of scary. Today, the news is not good from the Northeast.
What's up?
My brother-in-law was feeling badly. Went into the doctor. They did an echocardiogram. Dude's like 44 years old.
Yeah.
He's going in for heart surgery.
You're kidding me.
No, they found a blockage.
You're kidding me.
No, he's got two kids. He's got two kids under the age of 7, in his 40s.
Matt, right?
Matt, dude, we're thinking about you. We're thinking about you.
Yeah.
That's rough. And just reminds us that, if you feel bad, I'm one of these guys is like, I'm not going to the doctor unless, unless I see arterial blood.
Yeah, I haven't been to the doctor in years.
Unless it's pumping.
Or the dentist.
Well,
That's why
obviously.
I got my dead tooth.
Yeah. Well, with the DadLabs benefits package, one can hardly blame us for avoiding the doctor. But no, but he's a guy, he's a guy that was, mindful of went to the doctor and, man, found out. So dads, take care of yourselves.
Yeah.
If you feel bad, go to the doctor.
People are counting on you.
And
Lots of people.
So how are you doing? Things, is...
This weekend, 4th of July.
Yes.
Is a celebration of a birthday. America's birthday.
Yes.
Perchance.
Okay, you got to go easy. I've been doing a tutorial with you.
Sorry. Perchance, it may be a birthday of a whole nother sort. Maybe Liz will deliver.
Birth of a nation.
Birth of a nation.
Bertha would be a good name.
Bertha? It's going to be a dude, though.
Oh, well,
it's
still.
A little dude.
Middle name. Hey, so what about this wingnut governor of yours? I know that South Carolina.
I live in Texas, man. I was born in South Carolina.
I know that South Carolina makes crazy people, but this guy is a complete, total nut job.
Yeah, well, he likes to hike nude on the Appalachian Trail.
No, he meant to say.
No, nude
Argentinian tail is what he meant to say.
Don't you go hiking nude on the Appalachian Trail.
Okay, so you guys, how are the preparations going? Are you ready?
I am. Finally, after almost causing my wife to leave me right at the 9-10 months of pregnancy.
Yes.
Because I hadn't gotten all the stuff together.
Yes.
Finally, it's all together.
Really? So you guys are ready. You can have the baby now.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Thanks to IKEA.
Yes, thank you, IKEA.
Yeah.
My chaos is now ordered.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote about it on my blog today.
Did you have a lot of stuff to put together? Because I was talking earlier about I made a pilgrimage to IKEA, and I spent 9 hours assembling.
I got lucky. I'm not really handy.
Oh, I know that. That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
Did you?
And my dad is in town, who is very handy.
Oh, really?
So I kind of farmed it off on Dad. This might take me until, I don't know, October to put together this little chair.
Right.
He's like, move, get out.
Yeah.
He put it together for me. So
that's great.
Thanks,
so
Dad.
he gave you the pity assembly. So
Yes.
they're here. They're going to help out
Yep.
with the baby. They're going to stick around for a while, or
Yeah, maybe so. I hope so. It's nice. Grandparents,
yeah,
help out.
that's good.
Babysitter. Yeah. And I got to do something about the dog. Dog is bumming me out.
Your dog is bumming me out.
What'd you do? Did you take a poop on
Well,
your
do you
desk?
know that that every single time?
Yeah.
So here at DadLabs, we don't have the world headquarters is quite extensive. But one of the things that happens is that when you get a phone call,
Right.
we don't really have private offices or
Oh.
cubicles. So when you get a phone call and you're going to be on the phone for a while, people generally walk here into the studio
Yeah.
and take their call and pace around in here and sweat because it's hot.
It's hot. See, I'm shining now.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
So Brad,
That's me.
he's a sensitive guy,
Yeah.
so he gets a phone call and he walks in, he comes to the studio. Meanwhile, his dog, who is a beagle, goes totally, he's out there now. He starts screaming and howling and jumping into everybody's lap and driving Daddy Troy totally crazy and eating power cords and crapping everywhere.
Yeah,
And
eat power cords.
he
They
pees
pass
on the interns. He goes insane every time, and you don't know it
Yeah.
because you're in here.
Right. Yeah. Taking my phone call. Yeah, well, that's why I'm worried. Because, we're having a new baby,
Yes.
and we're going to bring him home. Hey, Camp.
Oh, there
Come
it
here,
Camp.
come here. This little dude has no idea how to react to a new baby. I mean, he howls and he stinks and he digs at stuff and he goes out,
And he just farted. I'm not kidding.
That was me, dude.
No, it was not.
No. So I don't know.
That has got to be the most disappointing dog. I mean, just across the board disappointing.
But you know what? You can bathe him in the tub. Remember Percy?
Yes.
185 pounds.
So
of
what are you
love?
worried? What is your specific concern regarding Camp and the new baby? I mean, he's not a mean dog. He's not.
No, he's very sweet, but he's just he just jumps around. He's playful. He nips. He say we put the baby down to sleep. Finally, I'm really tired. Been up all night.
Oh,
long.
he'll go jump on that damn. He'll go jump on that kid.
He'll jump
So
on
you
the
can't,
bed.
and you can't put the baby just down on the floor
No,
because Camp would go and just jump.
He's
on him.
eating all of Ella's little toys in her dollhouse.
How are the other kids? Are they excited about the arrival of the baby? Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah?
They're pretty excited.
Okay.
Ella wants to name him Stuart Little, so we're thinking about that.
He just broke wind again.
It's that
He's a
good Carrie dog show.
It's a small dog.
It's all the pens that he's eating. That's why I don't have any pens in yet.
He's also eating, and this is curious to me. And Brad doesn't make any move to stop this behavior. His dog is eating his desk.
Yeah, he is. But he
I just
he's
one
occupied.
corner, and he's eating the desk. And I've never heard you say, "Camp, don't eat my desk."
listen. He's occupied. He's happy. It's a really big desk, so he can eat for.
But
he
one
can
day
eat
your
for-
desk is just going to topple over when he finally
Yeah.
gnaws all the way through that leg.
If he continues at the gnawing pace that he's gnawing now, it'll take him probably 3 years to get through that desk. Have you seen the size of the desk?
Did you do any good this week? Did you film anything interesting this week
I
that you want
did.
to tell people
I
about?
did.
What did you shoot this
Yeah,
week?
let's see. Well, this week I filmed with the help of IKEA how to organize your home for a new baby.
And you had a professional organizer
I
come
did.
in.
Christy Slapp from ArrangingItAll.com.
So let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
Seriously,
Yes.
you need someone to help you organize. Like you can't figure out yourself how to organize.
Dude, I thought, well, have you seen my desk?
Well, the one that's it's about to
Yeah,
topple over. I
No, it's
worry
good.
about it.
She taught me the 3 keys to organizing.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, purge. You got to get rid of all the crap.
Mm-hmm.
You got to purge. You got to make use of vertical spaces
Yes.
because there's lots of space up there that we're not using normally.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to arrange your space logically based on how you use it. So the thing you use the most should be front and center. And when she came and looked at my stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that was not the case. And it's amazing what it did to change the feng shui
Don't say that. Don't say
of the
that.
room. So yes,
So actually there's value.
there's value in an organizer.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
that's good to know. Well, I'm looking for that probably isn't going to post. When does that post? Let me take a look. Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Okay. So tomorrow,
Uh-huh.
tomorrow is Friday. We've got a
Yeah.
little bit of a different little bit of a different release schedule this week. Those of you that are regular viewers know, we usually release the lab on Monday, but this week we swapped it around till Friday. And also, beginning this week, we're changing up our release schedule a little bit because some of the guys have got some things to attend to. So we got a little paternity leave going on.
I gotta go take care of my baby.
We gotta eat our own dog food, right, Camp?
That's right, Camp.
So Brad's gonna be going on paternity leave here for a little while.
Yep.
Daddy Clay's going on vacation.
Yep.
We don't let Daddy Troy take time
Somebody's
off
got to keep the wheels
because
rolling.
has to work
and
harder.
And you interns, you working
exactly
every day.
But it does mean
double time.
It does mean that we're going to slow down the release schedule. We're just going to be releasing one video a week for July while we take some time to be with our newborn babies and be on vacation. So starting on Monday, you'll see the co-sleeping video we shot with Carrie Conte, and then we'll do one release after that, one release a week for the rest of July, and then in August we will be back with a whole new season and some fantastic new videos. Well, you know what, Daddy Brad? That's 30 minutes.
That's it.
And so that really sort of brings us to the end of this week's live broadcast. Thanks a lot for joining us. And if you haven't been there yet, go to DadLabs.com. You can see Daddy Brad sporting his handsome T-shirt. You know, you can pick these up at DadLabs.com. Copy of our book, Dad's Guide to Fatherhood, Pregnancy in Year 1, is available there.
I'll be posting everybody about the little boy.
Are we worried that Camp is pulling down the light over there?
Camp, no, don't eat that.
That's
electric cord.
He's a good dog.
Yeah.
Really good dog.
Yeah, he's loving. Hey, I'll keep everybody posted on the coming arrival.
Yeah,
New
please.
Little boy.
Go to DadLabs.com, monitor it there for the big news for Daddy Brad. Check out all the blogs there. We've got over 425 videos. Please go to DadLabs.com and join us there and let us know what you think. Thanks everybody for this week, and join us next Thursday. We haven't decided yet. We don't know. Let us know. Would you rather be with Daddy Clay on the Cape, or would you like to be with Daddy Troy right here in the studio?
Maybe we do a split screen. I'll do one from the nursery, like this.
Yeah, you don't. You need to be paying attention.
Hold on, wait.
You need to be paying attention. Don't.
There we go. Oh yeah, split screen. Look at that.
No, that's not a split screen. That's your arm.
Split screen.
Anyway, thanks for joining us for the live Dad Lab show. We'll see you next Thursday at 2 Central, 3 Eastern.